Hello everyone. This book is hard to put down, so much information. This book is written in 1955 by Jehovah's Witnesses. Here's the proof. I made 2 other videos besides this one. In this book, it talks about 2 groups of Bible students after Charles T. Russell died and Judge Rutherford took over as the president. Now, this group was united when Charles T. Russell was alive, and it divided when Judge Rutherford became the president. Why and how did that happen? Well, let's read and find out. The eternal crisis came to its full with the occurrence of an outstanding Bible event, namely the coming of Jehovah's minister Jesus Christ to the temple for judgment in the spring of 1918. Now, here's the thing. 1914, Jesus took power. Supposedly he kicked Satan out of heaven in 1914. And he came back in 1918 to separate the faithful and discreet slave from the evil slave. Okay, very interesting. The covering, if that's how you say that word, between the 2 groups, like I said, this is between 2 groups of Bible students, one for Charles T. Russell and one from Judge Rutherford, first and second president, were further, and the evil slave group came to further eternal disagreement and subdivided. So they disagreed of the changes from the original teachings of Charles T. Russell from the teachings of Judge Rutherford. Evidently, many other small groups, talk about the original Bible students, disagreement groups formed to exit for a while and then to disappear. Well, I hate to say, but when I did research, I had a curiosity that something about my teaching of Jehovah's Witnesses, what I learned about the Bible students, something did not click. One, I was taught that by the witnesses that the reason they were changing the name of Jehovah's Witnesses from Bible students because they said they religions qualify themselves as Bible students. But you stop and think about it, the Baptist is a Baptist, Catholic was a Catholic, Presbyterian, that was their group, Pentecostal, but there was no other groups was called Bible students. Well, so I did more digging. Well, the reason why you got a Bible students called faithful and discreet slave and the evil slave is because the two groups started off with one person, was Charles T. Russell, and when Charles T. Russell died in 1916, Judge Rutherford became the second president, and when he started changing the teachings, which apparently the teachings was no more Christmas, no more saying the cross is what Jesus died on, and no more holidays. So all these things that the Bible students was teaching by Charles T. Russell. So here's the question. If Judge Rutherford broke off from the original teachings of Jehovah's Witnesses, from the Bible students, and formed a different group under him, wouldn't that be considered apostate? Because he left the original teaching of Charles T. Russell. And if Charles T. Russell's teaching was wrong, then why didn't they put that in the literature and the books that Charles T. Russell was teaching? His teaching was wrong. They never said his teachings was wrong. Otherwise, why would there be disagreement between the both groups if the original Bible students rejected Judge Rutherford's teachings? Now, there's something else I wanted to show. I don't want to run out of time, so I'm going to let y'all read some of this. Then I'll get to where I want to read. I'll show you in 1922. You got the 1,260 days. Zion's children. The anointed witnesses. And you keep going. Undertake Jehovah's judgment on earth. This earth was okay. Now here we go. It was pictured by blowing the seventh trumpets and the outpouring of the seven bowls of of the anger of God. Okay, the reason I'm bringing this out, in the book of Revelation, it mentioned about the seven trumpets, the seven seals, and if truthfully, if all this information is supposed to be right, 100%, why didn't Armageddon already started if the seventh trumpet and the seven bowls were already done? Around the time in 1922. See, something here is not right. Every information I come across about their own literature, their own books, they say that Jehovah's Witnesses, and this is supposed to be the modern history of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, if this is the modern day history of Jehovah's Witnesses, the 7 bowls, 7 trumpets has not even started. If it started, then we would be almost in the last phase of God's anger. And then Armageddon, which to me, that would be part of Armageddon. So since none of these things happen, I mean, Armageddon was not going to start. But this book doesn't tell you one thing about 1922. In 1921 and 1920, there was 2 books was written. Harp of God, Millions Now Living Will Never Die. 2 books that was written. For what? What's missing right between 1922 and 1928? Oh, that's right. 1925. 3 years after 1925. 3 years after 1925 be 1928. Something like that. Armageddon was supposed to be already here. Judge Rutherford predicted that Armageddon was going to start in 1925 in these 2 books. So apparently, when night fell, and those 2 books, you can PDF it, see for yourself. I made a couple of videos, others made a couple of videos. Now here's my question. Okay, Jehovah's Witnesses' name wasn't till 1931. Now, maybe the reason why the group called the Evil Slave Group did not accept Charles T. Rutherford as the second president, because they lived through 1918 to 1931, and they seen 1925 of his false prediction of the world was going to end. So Judge Rutherford could not let these new original slaves or evil slaves to be part of his group. So he had them excommunicated, disassociated, the word apostate today. So was it right for the evil slave to leave Judge Rutherford because they did not believe in his teachings? His false prediction of the world was going to end. It never happened. And they was called apostate. Well, what about Jehovah's Witnesses? They found out that Judge Rutherford lied about 1925. A bunch of other predictions that the original Charles T. Russell made. Something was wrong with his predictions of the world was going to end. 1975, we found in the books, magazines, the world was going to end, and y'all consider us apostates. So originally, the true apostates started off as Bible students, and when they broke off from Charles T. Russell's teaching, they became Jehovah's Witnesses, and they became an evil slave and apostate because they predicted the world was going to end in 1925. Think about it. It's in your own literature. It's in your own magazines. Here's the proof.